Caitlin Clark entered the WNBA with sky-high expectations and relentless media buzz, and somehow she's exceeded all of it. In just a few months, she's rewritten the rookie record book, turned a struggling franchise into a playoff contender, and made women's basketball cool across all generations. Her impact has been immediate, historic, and undeniable. It's hard to find another rookie in any sport who's had this kind of outsized influence so fast. Now even her early skeptics, from basketball insiders to sports journalists and social media critics, are waking up to the fact that they're witnessing greatness in real time. One of those voices, Shaquille O'Neal, the Big Diesel, now a mainstay on Inside the NBA, has always been vocal with his takes, and women's basketball caught his attention thanks to the rising rivalry between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Naturally, Shaq rooted for Reese. They both went to LSU after all. Since the NCAA Finals in 2023, he's been one of Angel's biggest supporters, even calling her the best basketball player to ever come out of LSU. Yes, above himself and the legendary Pistol Pete Maravich. That's no small statement coming from a four-time NBA champion and former MVP. Even Angel was taken aback by the praise, but recently even Shaq seems to be shifting his stance.
Yeah, Shaq told me that I was the best player to come out of LSU. I mean, it puts a lot of pressure on me, and I feel like I haven't done anything.
Shaq told me I was the best player to ever come out of LSU, and while the praise is huge, it also puts a lot of pressure on me, Angel Reese admitted. I feel like I haven't done enough yet. However, let's be real, Reese did something neither Shaq nor Maravich accomplished at LSU. She won an NCAA championship. Thanks to the new NIL rules, Reese was able to sign a major shoe deal before her final season in college. But instead of opting for Nike or Adidas like most top athletes, she made a bold move by signing with Reebok, the same brand Shaq once made famous. With Shaq now serving as Reebok's president of basketball operations, this deal brought added attention and created a very public connection between the two. That partnership extended beyond the court, with Shaq becoming something of an unofficial mentor to Angel Reese. He shared his wisdom on basketball, professionalism, and life as a young athlete. Shaq never tried to downplay their connection, and he's made it clear he's supported Reese long before she turned pro. Here's how he explained what he does to help the fellow LSU alum.
I was just, telling her how to handle adversity, how to handle, controversy. And, with a person like her, you don't really want to come and say, do this and do that. I was just coming and, giving her encouraging words, just telling her, to.
It's not always clear how close Shaq's relationship with Angel Reese is or how often they've been in contact since she entered the WNBA. What's undeniable, though, is that Shaq has always been firmly in her corner. He stayed professional in his comments, regularly praising the growth of women's basketball, but he made it clear that Angel was his favorite, even before the WNBA season began. With a vested financial interest in her success, Shaq has been one of her strongest supporters. That being said, Shaq has also been seen at Chicago Sky games, keeping a close eye on the growth of the women's game. Recently, though, he made a surprising admission. Caitlin Clark is now the player to watch, not Angel. In a post-game interview following a blowout victory for the Fever, Shaq had this to say, "She does everything right. I never spoke about Caitlin because Angel is my girl, but I can truthfully say Caitlin Clark is for real. I'm watching her play and I'm trying to be upset, but she makes the right pass, the right play. Girls try to beat her up, and she doesn't complain. She's a great one. She's the real deal, much respect to her and her family, and the way she plays." After spending nearly 2 decades in the NBA and sharing the court with legends like Penny, Kobe, Dwayne Wade, and James, Shaq knows what it takes to play the right way. Despite his long-standing loyalty to Angel Reese, he can't help but acknowledge Caitlin's dominance. This admission from Shaq is significant. If he can't continue to promote Reese over Clark, despite their commercial ties, it raises questions about how others in the media will handle Clark's rise. There was never any doubt Caitlin Clark would bring additional attention to the WNBA. She made NCAA women's basketball the most popular sport in America, and her fans followed her into the pros. The real question was how quickly the mainstream media would recognize her supremacy. The Caitlin Clark effect has now fully arrived in the WNBA, and it's only growing. In 2024, all of the top 12 most viewed WNBA games featured the Indiana Fever, drawing between 3 million viewers. For comparison, an average NBA game last season saw 56 million viewers. The WNBA All-Star Game, with 3, 4 million viewers, had the highest viewership since the league's inception. Caitlyn's presence has also boosted attendance, with the Fever now averaging nearly 177,000 fans per game, a huge jump from just over 4,000 last year. This surge in viewership and attendance is translating into big revenue for the league, and it will only grow as Caitlyn collects more awards and solidifies her stardom. As a savvy businessman, Shaq understands the value of partnerships with stars. His investments continue to generate income, and he's always looking for the next big opportunity. Caitlyn Clark is likely to be a central part of that future.
To start a business, the way I learned business was a gentleman gave me a book, The Dummy's Guide to Starting Your Own Business. When I was reading it, wasn't familiar with anything, but it was a chapter that really piqued my interest. Joint venture.
This is not a good time to be a Caitlyn Clark hater. She's playing at near MVP level, leading a previously struggling franchise into the playoffs and to the top of the revenue charts. Caitlyn stands alone at the top of her rookie class and has quickly become the unquestioned leader of her team, which is finding its rhythm around her. The rise of Caitlyn Clark has caused many of the commentators who doubted her skills or preferred Angel Reese to now quietly backtrack. Those who once sought to tear her down are now avoiding the topic altogether, as Caitlyn has undeniably lived up to and perhaps surpassed the hype. With the exception of a few stubborn holdouts, it's clear there's a new sheriff in town. Caitlyn Clark looks different from the typical WNBA player, and after mesmerizing college audiences, she has elevated her game to another level. Now she commands the undivided attention of the nation. Women's basketball, once an afterthought in television programming, is now becoming prime-time material. This shift in the sports landscape is so dramatic that even NFL events have been affected by scheduling conflicts. In early September, when the first ever NFL game in Brazil coincided with an Indiana Fever game, some sports figures voiced their displeasure that viewers were choosing the NFL over Caitlyn Clark. Dave Portnoy, founder of Barstool Sports, even expressed how ridiculous it was to watch NFL instead of Clark's game, calling it poetry in motion. His heartfelt support didn't stop at words. He placed a $100,000 bet on the Fever to win the 2024 WNBA championship, despite their playoff drought. His endorsement is a huge deal and can help spread Caitlyn's influence even further. Consider that 51% of Americans identify as NFL fans, and that 88 out of the top 100 most watched televised events in 2022 were NFL games. If just a fraction of NFL fans cross over, Caitlyn's fan base could grow exponentially. Now the question remains, has Caitlyn finally earned the respect of the mainstream media? While it may still be too early to tell, with her performance and the support of major voices, it seems that Caitlyn's ascent to the top of the sports world is underway. Stephen A. Smith, one of the most influential figures in sports journalism, has made his position clear. Known for his loud opinions, he was calm and collected when explaining why Caitlyn Clark is a unique player. His endorsement could be the final step in Caitlyn's rise, ensuring that the WNBA is now more associated with her than with veterans like Brittany Griner, Aja Wilson, or Sabrina Ionescu. The league needed a figure to embody its future, and Caitlyn Clark seems to have passed the audition with flying colors.
She's leading the league in assists. Since July 10th, she's the second leading scorer in the NBA behind Aja Wilson, averaging 23.8 points per game.
Caitlyn Clark is making history as the first rookie in WNBA history to record multiple triple-doubles in a season. The Indiana Fever are headed to the playoffs, and Clark is leading the charge. She's the clear Rookie of the Year and a top MVP contender. Beyond her on-court success, Caitlyn's impact on the business side of the WNBA is undeniable, turning everything she touches into gold. Despite not boasting about her brand or business interests, she has elevated the sport and deserves immense credit. Stephen A. Smith and Charles Barkley, both basketball legends, have strongly supported Caitlyn, criticizing those who have tried to diminish her. Barkley, in particular, has expressed frustration with how the media has treated Clark, pointing out that personal animosity shouldn't cloud objective praise. He's one of the few in the basketball world who recognizes that negative commentary can hurt a player's public image and financial standing. As Caitlyn Clark continues to win over former critics and gain respect from NBA legends like Shaquille O'Neal and Barkley, the WNBA is reaping the benefits. In fact, the league is now outperforming the NBA on its proprietary NBA TV platform, with Clark's games attracting more viewers than NBA matchups, including a Warriors-Cavs game. This surge in popularity could lead to significant changes, including improvements in salaries, infrastructure, and the addition of more franchises. Fans are ready for more women's basketball, and the WNBA is adjusting to the rising demand.